Enough at last.
Obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call The Twilight Zone.
What is up, Nomies? I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler, in a manner of speaking.
Welcome to the Twilight Gnome Podcast, episode 58, a podcast where we discuss every episode of the Twilight Zone. Once a week, we pick an episode, and this week our episode is...
Sounds and Silences.
Yes, Season 5, Episode 27, the original air date, April 3rd, 1964. If it wasn't abundantly clear, this was written by Rod Serling and directed by Richard Donner, who did 6 Twilight Zone episodes, all in Season 5.
Let's hear him.
All right, he did Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, From Agnes with Love, Jeopardy Room, The Brain Center at Whipple's, Come Wander With Me, and Sounds and Silences. All pretty crappy.
Yeah, I mean, other than the Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, which most people really love, but...
Which is pretty insane because obviously Richard Donner went on to direct many, many awesome movies. He did all the Lethal Weapons, he did Scrooge, he did the Goonies, he did the Superman movies. He's done a lot of good movies.
Out of those ones, I've only seen the Goonies.
Well, it's a very good movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good movie.
All right, Ty, we'll jump right into it. If possible, do you have a favorite moment from this episode?
Yeah, my favorite moment...
In a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking. My favorite moment from this episode was when his wife breaks his records and then continues to use his expression of in a manner of speaking against him to mock him.
My favorite moment is also with his wife because she says, in short, I've had you. And it's a moment where he should be like completely losing, but he goes, I am thunderstruck. That just got me so good.
You've been thunderstruck!
It was very funny.
We have the technology to rebuild him.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro to the episode we are watching. And this week it came up with this. Roswell G. Flemington, a man of booming voice, thunderous taste, and the subtlety of a naval bombardment. A retired military man who traded battleships for model kits and barked orders in a hobby shop as if commanding a fleet. He thrives on noise, his records, his rants, the rhythmic roar of imaginary warfare. But Roswell is about to discover that when the world turns down its volume, the silence can be deafening. And in that silence, there's a frequency only heard in the Twilight Zone.
Bombardment!
That's all I could think of when I heard that as well.
It's crazy that people used to call dodgeball bombardment. I don't know. I just think that's funny.
Pretty good. Every week, Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I came up with 3 this week.
I also have 3.
All right, and it's even, so I will go first. What does Roswell's business do?
They make miniature ships for like a ship in a bottle.
Yep, model ships.
Yeah. What time does the clock show in the opening scene?
Is it 9 a.m.?
2:30.
Dang it. I figured he was taking a nap. I was like, maybe it's an early nap, or it's probably in the afternoon.
Middle of the day nap when he's supposed to be working.
According to Roswell, his mother did not make cookies. She made these.
Brownies, fudge brownies.
Correct.
Yeah. I feel like that wouldn't make that much, no cookies that loud.
Right? That, and also, I think, I don't know, cookies are really good, but brownies are pretty awesome,
Yeah, brownies are better. I get it if you're, not allowed cookies when you're a kid, you're going to think they're awesome. I don't know, but I would agree. Brownies are better.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
I didn't say they were better. I said they're really good. I wouldn't be upset about it, but...
Oh, I
don't know.
they're better.
A freshly baked chocolate chip cookie's pretty fucking good.
Still picking brownie.
All right.
They maintain their moisture. When he is home listening to a ship bombing a city, what is the ship and what is the city?
The ship is the Missouri and it's Okinawa.
Correct.
Sweet. I have a good memory. Roswell tells the psychiatrist he's what in naval terms?
The psychiatrist is the second person he sees. He likes him, so he says he's a 4.
He says, you're 4.0. You're a 4.0.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said 4.0, but I'll give you partial credit.
It's the same fucking thing.
All right.
What is the company's motto?
Fuck, the wife says it. There's actually a pretty decent one.
It's kind of a dumb one.
Aim high, shoot low, profit, profit, profit.
Damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead for fun and profits.
Pretty decent. All right, we'll kind of make this one short and sweet through the plot. We'll get right to it. We open up on a captain's quarters, or what we presume to be a captain's quarters.
I thought it was a ship the first time I was watching it.
For sure. And you can hear the sounds of like seagulls and like seafair. And we hear bells chiming, gulls. The guy gets up out of a hammock and he goes and turns the record off. And as soon as he lifts the needle, the music stops. You're like, oh, we're not actually probably at sea.
I still thought we were at sea until he opened the door and it showed an office. I was like, oh, okay, now we're definitely not at sea.
Right? He puts his jacket on and goes into another room, which is an office. And we can see that it's saying that it's his model ship company. He's barking orders. And this is...
I don't get why he starts barking orders. These people are literally hard at work, like nose to the grindstone, and he's already just telling them all off. Like, he must be such a shitty boss. For other reasons, not only is he loud and annoying, but like he seems to just be a dick for no reason.
True, but he does say poop deck and semen right on
He
this
does.
one.
He says semen multiple times. Every time it made me laugh.
Poop deck, semen. Man of simple tastes, but that was always get me. He tells them, we all must climb the mast in a manner of speaking. And this is our first manner of speaking of very many. I did not count them, but there is at least 15 in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, I would say there's probably at least 15 in a manner of speaking.
He says full steam ahead, and then he goes back into his office, and the employees just start talking shit. They even thrown a dart at a picture of him.
Where is this located to? Like, because the boss would obviously, if this is in the office, the boss would see this poster with his face up it and darts on it.
Well, obviously, they'd probably take the dart out. I'm sure there was just
But you'd still see the dart hole.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. And they pretty much say that one of them almost says like he wishes he was dead, and one of them says that I hope something annoying happens to him, kind of planting that seed of, oh, he annoys us. If only there was an ironic comeuppance.
And also, too, like, as a boss in general, he's like, oh, you guys need to be working harder, and then leaves and makes a shit ton of noise, knowing full well it's going to be hard for them to work with all that noise in the background. Like, how... This is the most ridiculously cartoonish person we've seen so far.
For sure. And then Rod brings us in.
This is Roswell G. Flemington. 220 pounds of gristle, lung tissue, and sound decibels. He is, as you have perceived, a noisy man. One of a breed who substitutes volume for substance, sound for significance, and shouting to cover up the readily apparent phenomena that he is nothing more than an overweight and aging perennial sea scout, whose noise-making is in inverse ratio to his competence and to his character. But soon our would-be admiral of the fleet will embark on another voyage. This one is an uncharted and twisting stream that heads for a distant port called the Twilight Zone.
He's a fat fucking douche, noisy bastard.
You're making way too much damn sound.
He was insulting him pretty good in that one.
I mean, he usually insults a lot of his characters.
After that, we can see the room is completely shaking, which...
Yeah, now it's a new room, which it took me a while.
I thought it was
first
in his
watching it. I
office
thought it
again.
was the office again, but then we realized that his wife's there, because I thought... like
that was a secretary.
I thought it was a secretary, because I was like, oh, it's the same room, but no, it's a completely different room. Now we're in his, like, house?
His living room or something, but I definitely thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But everything's shaking on the walls, bunch of loud war sounds, which even if you like that, like, who the fuck, I don't understand. Would they even make records of?
That's what I was thinking too. Like
who
who
is
is buying these? What is the market for selling really loud, annoying, authentic war sounds?
That and in wartime, like if there was an actual like ship battle going on, who'd be like, I gotta record the audio of this for future generations to enjoy.
I find it hard to believe that, one, like you said, anyone's actually recording during these, and two, there's no market for this. Nobody wants to hear that.
The phone's ringing, the wife enters, and she's obviously like, hello? Who? Can you turn that down? Roswell says, it's the sounds of battleship fighting. The wife just goes over to the record, stops it, breaks it, which was
Classic.
pretty good. And he was like, there was only 100 of these records made in existence. She's like, well, now there's only 99. And then he says something about John Paul Jones, and the only John Paul Jones I know is the bass player for Led Zeppelin, so I was like, well, they got a statue of John Paul Jones playing bass?
Probably different.
Probably. The wife says that this is crazy, and I'll play a little bit of this because she's like, this is my favorite moment there, the thunderstruck, when she's like, I can't live like this. In short, I've had it with you, but it's very Serling-y the way they
spar.
Yes.
Oh, knock it off, Roswell. You are an insufferable, noisy clown, but you are not stupid. I have had you up to here, and my ears have had you, and my stomach lining has had you, and whatever part of the brain that keeps a person balanced, that's had you too. In short, Roswell, I have had you.
I am absolutely and completely thunderstruck.
Are you now?
I am indeed.
So at this point, Roswell, I'm leaving, in a matter of speaking.
I like that she uses in the manner of speaking back to him to just really kind of wedge the dagger deeper into there, because
Probably I've been listening to this fucking idiot say this shit for 20 years.
no doubt this is definitely a woman that's had to deal with the most annoying man in the entire world, and she's like kept a list of everything that he's done that's annoying, and she's just ready to put it right back at him.
Like you were saying, he definitely would have been a good one to put on the flight, because I would not want to sit next to this guy.
I think he'd probably be the worst to sit next to.
His wife leaves. Roswell goes and bangs on the door very awkwardly.
He's like trying to break it, kind of, but like
He doesn't
really
want to break
weak.
the set. I think he doesn't want to break the set either, too. So it's
Well,
awkward.
Yeah, and then she opens the door and she says it
locked.
wasn't locked.
No.
Like, clearly, this man's an idiot too.
I did like that one. And then he starts going into a story. My mother did not like noise. I had to be quiet. A whisper.
He's trying to blame this whole thing on his eccentricity of loving loud music on his mother, which is just such a weird cop-out. Like, oh, the only reason I'm loud is because my mother wouldn't let me be loud, and now I'll be as loud as I'd like. Like,
And then they go into I even have it written down, more Rod talk, because it was just coming at you so fast and with words that you're like, well, I'm going to need a fucking thesaurus to, like, in a dictionary to look up what the hell you were talking about right now.
Particularly Roswell speaks as if he swallowed a thesaurus. I think everyone around him speaks somewhat normally. I think his wife probably's picked up on a lot of his lingo, and especially because they use a lot of not only like big words in general, but they use a lot of specific to naval
Terminology and stuff for sure.
Yeah.
His wife says, all right, well then consider yourself dumped. She leaves, and Roswell puts on another record. And then in the next shot, it's night. He's sleeping.
Wait, hold on first. Right after they break up, did you notice the music that plays right after they break up? It goes doot-a-doot-doot-doot.
No.
It's like the Popeye music. It's kind of funny. Put it on for just a second.
Speaking, consider yourself dumped.
Very awkward. There's a lot wrong with this episode, but
doesn't it kind of sound like the Popeye?
It does sound like Popeye.
Doot-a-doot-doot-doot.
Doodle-doodle-doot-doot. Is that Popeye or is that just like a sea shanty?
I think it's actually Popeye. I was trying to look it up the other night.
The next shot, Roswell is in his bed sleeping, and we hear a very loud dripping noise. But when he finds out what it is, it's just a tiny little drip in his bathroom sink. So it's kind of weird. It's like, why is that so loud? Why is this amplified? And then he goes to turn the lights off, and we get these like laser pew, pew. And this is when it just gets over the top comical. He goes over to his alarm clock. It's ticking very loud. He drops it, and then we get the dumbest sound of boing, dong, dong.
It's like there was another episode too that we watched where the sound effects were just very overpoweringly annoying.
Then we go to commercial, and when we come back, Roswell is at the doctor's getting his ears checked, and the doctor says there's nothing wrong. It's probably all in his head. Roswell calls him a quack, in a manner of speaking, and the doctor tells him what you really need is a psychiatrist, and Roswell tells him off, and then he leaves. The next shot, he's back in his office, and he's late, and all the employees are excited, like, oh, maybe he died, maybe he did this.
Except then when he finally comes in, one of the employees, it looks like he's probably the one that's been there the longest, seems actually somewhat concerned for his boss, which I can't see why anyone would like this guy enough to care about him.
I have that written down. That one was awkward, too, because when he arrives, he goes straight to his office, and one girl's like, well, I've been here 2 years, and so I've been here 5 years, and then finally, like, that guy, I've been here 10 years, and I've never seen him afraid before, and it, like, zoomed up. It was very strange.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to be like, oh, look, at least someone cares about Roswell, but it's like, no one should.
Okay. Roswell's in his office, and he keeps hearing loud sounds, so he goes out to check on his employees, and he's at the water cooler, and the bubbles are just very loud for him. And I'll play some of this.
And then also that the other employee also has the squeaky shoes. He's like, oh, sorry, new shoes today.
Let's keep it quiet out here.
I was just... With your permission, Mr. Flemington, new shoes.
What have you got in them? Pipe organs? This ship has got to shape up. Repeat, shape up. Noise is not efficiency.
Noise is not efficiency. How ironic.
Right? Ooh. Again, I know you know that I hate episodes that, like, clearly point out, but it's just the dumbest, like, what would be an ironic twist for someone who's very loud and annoying?
It is a bit lazy, but I do enjoy the very direct. Like, at least this isn't one of the ones where you're scratching your head like, what the fuck were they thinking about? Like, at least in this, gonna be like, okay, like, it's a really simple story, but I get what they were going for.
The next shot, Roswell is in the psychiatrist's office, and the psychiatrist is pretty much telling him what he wants to hear. He's like, this is all resentment for your mother, and now you're taking it out on your wife. And it's just in your head, mind over matter. See, look, snap your fingers. And at first, Roswell's kind of timid too, but then he does, and, oh, it's not that loud. And he's like, all right, now stomp your feet. And now, clap these cheeks.
That's where it went off rail.
That's for our porno parody thing there. But now he slams the door on and nothing happens. My God, doctor, you're right. You're a 4.0.
The fastest curing of, like, this psychosis I've ever seen. Like, it literally took one visit, less than an hour, presumably. Like, wow, damn, that doctor's good.
The next shot, Roswell is back at his house.
Oh, before that, when he leaves, he tells the psychiatrist that he, quote, has, you, sir, have the soul of a seaman.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, I guess we do all have the soul of a seaman.
Yep, next shot, Roswell is back at his house, and he's pretty much saying, it was all my wife's fault. I knew it. Mind over matter. And at that moment, his wife comes in. She goes, I forgot my jewelry. And then just an overload of Rod talk, and he pretty much says that he's talked to a shrink, and it's all her fault. And he's like, and you know what? Now
I can do anything with a snap.
I can shut you off. I did like the sound effect. Obviously, it's just like a telephone effect.
Yeah.
But I'll play some of this because it is pretty interesting when he goes, I can turn you off if I don't want to hear you.
Because even now, at this moment, I am in the process of exercising mind over matter. I am shutting you out.
Flemington, I really do wonder about you. I wonder why no one has committed you. I really do.
See?
He doesn't. He's an odd-looking man. He kind of looks like Gollum, eyes and stuff. I read on his Wikipedia page it referred to him as an owl-faced man, and he definitely has an owl face, doesn't he?
Yeah, I can see the owl face thing. I don't agree with the Gollum one though.
He goes after she leaves, like, incredible, mind over matter, and he puts on a record.
Again, where do you find these records?
He looks out the window, get ready out there, because he's going to play it incredibly loud.
You can already tell it's already playing. He just hasn't noticed that it hasn't turned on.
The room is shaking. Everything is shaking on the walls, but we don't hear anything. And apparently he's gone deaf or what?
I would imagine, like, there's no really, like, bizarre mystical element to this. Like, the first part is all psychiatric, and the second part is he probably just has tinnitus from listening to music so freaking loud for his entire life.
Finally kicked in.
Yeah,
and he starts breaking glasses, and he can't really hear shit, and it's completely silent except once in a while we get a fucking scream, which kind of is jarring.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that.
And then he just starts screaming out the window, louder, louder, why can't I hear you? So the Twilight Zone apparently gave this man his comeuppance because he enjoyed listening to loud things.
To be fair, this was probably before headphones. If he enjoyed like listening to things in a day with headphones, I'd be like, fucking put your headphones on. Like, nobody else wants to hear your garbage. It's like going onto a bus or any other form of public transportation and like
people watching
blasting
YouTube
music
and shit.
Yeah, and it's like, put some headphones in. Like, nobody wants to hear whatever the hell you're listening to.
Yep. And then Rod takes us out.
When last heard from, Mr. Roswell G. Flemington was in a sanitarium, pleading with the medical staff to make some noise. They, of course, believed the case to be a rather tragic aberration, a man's mind becoming unhinged. And for this, they'll give him pills, therapy, and rest. Little do they realize that all Mr. Flemington is suffering from is a case of poetic justice. Tonight's tale of sounds and silences from the Twilight Zone.
I like the use of the term that Rod uses where he says he's telling everyone to make some noise, because that's very much like nowadays you'd use that in a term of like what an MC would say, like, come on everybody, let's make some noise for our next guest. Like, I just like to think of him, he's pretending to be an MC now in some psychiatric ward.
All right. Yeah, and that was our episode. Tyler, what did you learn?
I learned that extraneous activity is nothing more or less than sloppy seamanship, in a manner of speaking.
I like you put some thought into that one.
That's a line that he says to one of the people that works for him.
I like that.
I enjoyed that line.
All right, we'll jump into ratings. IMDb currently has this at a 5.7 out of 10. I checked. This is the second lowest rated episode on IMDb after The Bard. And I actually think The Bard's a little bit better than this.
I
mean, it sucks that it's an hour long, but...
Yeah, if The Bard was shorter, I'd probably say there are...
No.
Yeah.
All right, you want to try at the same time? Or I
think
know.
you might be slightly lower than me.
Think so? All right, I'll let you go first.
If we're off, it's only by like a half a point or so, I would imagine.
You go first, then.
All right, I'm giving this a 4.5. The main character is so annoying, so cartoonishly, like nobody in the world ever acts like that. And the only thing this episode really has going for it is the poetic justice, but even that's very hammy and heavy-fisted. The other characters are fine as characters, but really just Roswell as a character just so damn annoying, does not make this episode enjoyable.
This episode does suck major ass, but there are a few moments where it's sometimes the things he says is funny, and the whole manner of speaking thing. It's cute. If this was an hour long, this would be probably a 0.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give this a 3. It's, I don't know. Yeah, that's just, it kind of sucks ass. I don't think I'd ever want to watch this over again. If it was on a marathon, maybe I'd bear through it, but there's no possible way I'm putting this episode on unless I'm doing I'm going to watch every episode again.
Even in a marathon setting, I don't think I'd watch this episode.
This would be the episode to make a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in The Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we have John McGiver. He played Roswell. He was in 2 Twilight Zone episodes, this and The Bard.
Which are the worst rated ones ever.
Yep. So, moral of the story, do not hire him to be in an episode of The Twilight Zone.
I think that's more just unfortunate, though. Like, I think him as an actor, I think he did a good job with the script he was given.
That is true. He wasn't as, obviously, annoying in The Bard. He played Mr. Shannon, the guy's like, when's the commercial? I make soup.
I paid for the commercial. I want to see the commercial.
One of yours, Mooma? He wasn't as bad in that one.
Yeah.
He was in quite a few TV shows from like the 50s, 60s, and stuff, and 70s. He was in 1 Bewitched, 1 Gilligan's Island, 2 Hitchcock Presents. His son was actually an actor. His name was Boris McGiver. And John McGiver, the guy that's in this episode, he had 10 kids. A lot of kids.
Wow.
And that guy, Boris, one of his, I don't know if it's his oldest or youngest or whatever, but anyway, he's in a bunch of HBO shows, like 1 episode's here and there. He was actually in Our Flag Means Death. He plays Stede Bonnet's father in that flashback when he's like cutting the chicken's head off. You're just a rich boy, Stede Bonnet.
I'll have to rewatch. I watched the first season a long time ago, and then the second season came out, and I'm like, I forgot what happened in the first season.
I tried getting into the second season. The first season's so good. That Our Flag Means Death is very good. Then we have Penny Singleton. She played Mrs. Flemington. She was Blondie Bumstead. Do you know who that is?
That's her name is Blondie Bumstead?
Not in real life.
Oh, okay.
She played
the most ridiculous
no,
name.
I just said her name is Penny Singleton. She played
Even
Mrs.
that sounds
Flemington.
like a fake name too.
But anyway, she played Blondie Bumstead in a lot of movies in the 40s and 50s and
is this
like
like
30s.
a shared universe thing?
No, I think it's part of like was it Jughead or Archie comic things.
Oh,
it was, but they turned it into like movies in like the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Oh, so they took the Archie comics and turned it into movies.
I guess.
So they must have all been in a shared universe of movies then.
I guess so, but she had a bunch of movies that are just like Blondie does this, Blondie does that, like a bunch of them.
Urkel Goes to Camp or not Urkel, not Urkel. What's his name?
Did I do that? Ernest.
Ernest Goes to Camp, and yeah. Urkel Goes to Camp.
Urkel Saves Christmas. No, and she was also the voice of Jane Jetson until 1990. She was in like pretty much from all the movies, all the TV shows, and everything from the Jetsons.
Now that you say that, I can hear that.
And she was in just a lot of movies in the 30s and 40s. Then we have Michael Fox. He played the psychiatrist. He was in 3 Twilight Zones. He was in this, Nightmare as a Child, and Mr. Dingle the Strong. He played one of the Martians that was in the 2-man robot suit there.
I'm sure I asked this when we last watched the Mr. Dingle the Strong, but any relation to Michael J. Fox?
I don't believe so.
Oh.
And he also was in Young Frankenstein. He played Helga's father in that. A little bit of trivia on this one. This episode was not in syndication for quite some time due to some legal trouble. A writer actually sued and successfully won against Rod because he had the title Sounds and Silences quite a few years prior, so they had to end up paying him $3,500, and they just, in order to completely kind of just not fucking have to deal with this again, they did not put this in the syndication package, which I don't think people were missing out very much.
Yeah, I don't think anyone missed this episode.
In total, this episode cost $52,774.
Is that including the $3,500 they had to pay?
I'm not sure. I think that would probably be
long after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The director received the $1,500, which was the normal rate for season 5, and the cast received $4,700.
What'd you say your name was?
What's in the name, Mr. Benninger, really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles for the episode we are watching, and I have 4 this week.
I have 6.
All right, go for it.
All right, I have 2 debacles, so I'm just going to read them back to back here.
Okay.
I got the deafening debacle, and I have the decibel debacle.
Damn it, you stole it. That was mine, the decibel debacle. I have Turn That Down.
I have Mind Over Matter.
All Quiet in the Flemington House.
In a Manner of Speaking.
Yep, I have that. Mr. Roswell and the Ironic Comeuppance.
Noise of the Navy.
That was mine.
And A Noisy Annoyance. What was one of yours that was kind of a reference to something?
All Quiet in the Flemington House.
I like that.
Because I was trying to do like Western Front.
Yeah.
All right, Switcheroos. I have 3.
I have 4.
All right, go for it.
The Mind and the Matter.
Yep. The Silence.
Yep. Static.
I have Stopover in a Quiet Town.
That was my last one. Yep. All right, this week was a struggle to find references. I don't think anyone out there was intentionally wanting to make any reference to this episode, but I managed to pull 2 loose ones kind of together. So first we have the little song that plays, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, which I'm fairly certain is at least a nod to the Popeye the Sailor song, which came out before this episode, so maybe they were kind of playing off that motif. It certainly sounds a lot like it, and it also sounds a lot like a... Later on, Futurama has an episode called The Problem with Poplars, and in that they have a jingle for the Poplars where it uses the same melody of pop, pop, pop 'em in your mouth when you come to Fishy Joe's. Do you watch Futurama?
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of it.
It's such a good show. It's better than The Simpsons. You should watch it.
I doubt that.
The first couple seasons are better. When they got canceled, like after the third time, not so much. And then the only other reference I could kind of pull, there is an episode of SpongeBob called Squeaky Boots where he gets squeaky boots that Mr. Krabs sells to him, and he ends up regretting it because it's all he hears in his dreams at night, and like everything makes the squeaky boot sound. Like the cash register opening makes a sound, and like everything's loud and annoying to him in that sort of same way. Like he gets his comeuppance from trying to sell shitty boots to SpongeBob's, and all he can hear is the squeaky boots, which in this, there was even squeaky shoes. So that's all I got.
Direct reference.
Yeah.
All right, so every week Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture. I am totally in the dark on every episode except for the big ones. Every 25, 75, 100, you get the picture, and I know what the last one's going to be. But he does leave me little breadcrumbs once in a while, and he said it's a good one, which anything compared to this is probably going to be a good one. Next week is our 59th episode, which is obviously not a very significant number, but in the Twilight Zone community, it kind of is, because it's the year that Twilight Zone was created.
I didn't think about that when I selected 59, but sure.
All right. But are we still in our...
We're still in ours.
Is this our final one?
Nope, we have two more. So we did...
We haven't seen Alien yet.
We haven't done Alien, and we haven't done Future.
Well, I'm hoping for Alien. You said it's a good one. Aliens are always good.
Any guesses in particular?
I'm guessing not Black Leather Jackets, because you said it was good.
Unless I just really love Black Leather Jackets.
Maybe. The Fugitive.
You ready?
Yeah. The Little People.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't like that one?
It's okay.
Oh, I love that one. It's a really good episode. It's like an all-time classic.
All right. All right. Next week, The Little People. That's one of those
You look disappointed. I thought you were going to be excited for The Little People.
It's probably mid-tier for me, I think. I probably haven't seen it in a while.
Mid-tier as an episode or mid-tier out of the Alien ones?
As an episode.
Ooh.
You're going to put that, like, this is top-tier Twilight Zone for you?
I mean, I'm not going to show my hand too much, but I really liked this episode.
All right, next week, The Little People. Be there or be square.
Or be shrunk down to a little person size.
A little bit of housekeeping. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page. We are at 97 right now. We are 3 away from 100, reaching our goal for the year, which it's already only April, so
yeah,
we'll have to have another, maybe 150 by the end of...
Maybe 200. Shoot for the stars.
2,000, 2 million! But yeah, if you guys could please continue to like and subscribe, it means the world to us, and continue to comment. Also, Tyler and I were thinking, since it seems like you guys really enjoy watching the our special ones there, we're gonna continue every 25 to make really big ones. We have some really cool stuff planned for our 75, 100, 125, 150, what have you. But I was also kind of rumming around the same idea of doing more top 10s, because you guys kind of seem to like them, and they're fun to make. So for episode 60, I think I'm going to drop an episode called Top 10. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Should we?
No, let's just tease it at it's a top 10.
It's a top 10 list, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So look forward to that with episode 60 in 2 weeks. If you guys could please go to the Facebook page and give that a like and a follow. And if you need to get a hold of us for any other reason, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com.
And Alex did test it out. He sent me an email, so it is working.
It wasn't me.
It's empty still, but it's working. So please send me an email.
Yes, it means the world to us, guys, that you are listening, and we really want to continue to have a bigger community here, and we hope that you guys look forward to seeing our top 10 list on episode 60, as well as our 60th episode. Until then, Tyler, my final question for you. Do you do anything annoying, and would that warrant an ironic comeuppance? What would it be?
I mean, I guess I'm sure I do things that are annoying. I mean, I must. But I guess I'm the kind of person that's not self-aware enough to realize if I'm being annoying. I don't know. Do you think I'd do something that's annoying? If you had to pick something?
Obviously, I don't live with you anymore, so I know, like, when we were little kids, I noticed things. When, like, you'd bite, you'd always do a... And that bothered the shit out of me.
I wonder if I still do that.
It's, I don't know. He like
shaking my
what
mouth
is
like to rip it
It's
apart.
like a shaking, no, but like really quick. He just like, even if it's something soft, like.
I was thinking just with like steak or something.
No,
This is
you
with
do it
everything?
like even like with like a cheeseburger or so, like just. That used to annoy the shit out of me. It's not like
now I want to watch myself when I eat just to see if I do it.
It's not like annoying enough that it would warrant a comeuppance. You motherfucker!
Now your permanently face is stuck when you gotta eat.
I remember back like in high school, you didn't wash your hands even after taking a shit. That bothered me.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
But other than that little type of thing, no. How about me? Is there anything you're like, God damn it, stop that?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sometimes I think you could use more deodorant, but that
it burns my underarms. All right, Ty. Well, until then, do you have anything to say to our dear Gnomies out there?
Yes, thank you all for listening, and thank you for stepping in the Twilight Gnome in a manner of speaking.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone. Frisbee's telling stories, Mr. Dingle strong. There's time enough for the real Martian to stand up. Next stop, Willoughby, little girl is lost. There's something on the wing, Walter Jameson won't live long. Feel like I'm 5 characters in search of exit. Help, I'm slipping into the twilight known. Luckily on Thursday we leave for home. The chemists came and gave beauty to behold. Where's everybody? Get Axel Tyler on the phone. Now you're listening to the twilight known. Till next Friday night, you won't be alone. Till then, just keep watching your favorite TV show. Take it, Mr. Serling. The Twilight Zone. Listen hard and long. The Twilight Known. Listen hard and long. The Twilight Known.
I'm an idiot. Roswell G. Flemington, a man of booming voice, thunderous taste, and a subtlety, and thus, what the fuck, man? I suck so bad at fucking reading. Roswell G. Flemington, a man booming. Oh, what the fuck? This is fucking ridiculous. Roswell G. Flemington, a man of booming voice, thunderous taste, and the subtlety of a naval. Oh my God, why is there so many fucking big words?
Because this episode was a Rod episode.